Men's basketball continues on their tear in the Little East Conference. Women's swimming and diving with a strong showing at the LEC Championships, and women's hockey picks up 2 big wins this past week. All that and more coming up next on this week's edition of Panther Rewind. Hello Panther Nation, as always I'm Dan Salzer alongside Chris Kilmer as we welcome you into this week's edition of Panther Rewind, brought to you by Biederman's Deli.
Women's hockey continued its stretch of good play with a 2-0 weekend after blanking Anna Maria 3-0 on Friday before holding off Salem State 3-1 on Saturday. Senior Alexis Fagan scored a pair of goals, and classmate Allie Louie also lit the lamp in Friday's home win over Anna Maria. After a scoreless first period, Fagan found the back of the net midway through the second for what would prove to be the game winner. Louie doubled the lead in the opening minute of the third, and Fagan added her second of the night with 10:10 remaining. It was the 6th goal over a 4-game stretch for Fagan, while senior Sydney Linick moved into a tie for the team lead with her 10th assist. Freshman Becca Bridge stopped all 9 shots she faced to record her second shutout of the year. On Saturday, PSU traveled to Salem State for a key NEHC contest. The Vikings took the lead late in the second period, but freshman Chantel Ross countered just a minute later, and the game entered the third period knotted at 1. Louie scored for the second time in as many nights, and senior Julie Nagel added an insurance tally with 6:45 to play, as the Panthers improved to 2-0-1 in their last 3 games. Sophomore Olivia Petito made 13 saves and goal to pick up her first win as a Panther. PSU is home for another NEHC battle on Friday when the Panthers host NEC at 6 p.m.
In their only game this past week, the men's hockey team dropped a tough one against their rival Salem State on the road, but the Panthers still continue to sit atop the MASCAC standings. In a rare early afternoon game for the Panthers, PSU struggled to find the consistent play shown in the last 4 games. Junior Brett Backman got PSU on the board first midway through the first period, but the Vikings would answer back late in the opening frame, keeping the game tied 1-1 going into the locker room. Salem would notch 2 more goals in the second period and run the score to 4-1 in the third before freshman Miles Abbott struck on the power play to cut the Vikings' lead to 2. However, the Panthers couldn't get any closer, falling to their rivals 4-2. In the low-shooting game, both teams finished with only 16 shots on goal. Freshman Brendan Brawley had 10 saves for the Panthers in the first 44 minutes, but suffered the loss in goal, dropping hhis record to 0-3-0 his rookie campaign. PSU drops to 9-8-2 overall and 9-2-1 in conference play. The 2 teams will do battle again in the regular season finale at Hanaway Rink on February 25th. As for the Panthers, they will return to action on the road this Thursday night at Fitchburg State.
Men's basketball ran its winning streak to 6 in a row after a win against WestCon on Saturday. After sitting 1-4 in the LEC as recently as January 11th, the Panthers have won 5 straight conference games to move to within a game of the top spot in the league. Senior Jalen Leroy continued his hot stretch with a game-high 22 points as the Panthers used an 8-0 run over the final 90 seconds to earn a 66-58 win over WestCon. Leroy drained a 3 to give Plymouth State a 58-54 lead with 4 minutes to go, but the Colonials tied the game at 58 all 2 minutes later. Leroy got into the lane to break the tie, and freshman Kevin Henry nailed 2 clutch free throws before Leroy came up with key steals on back-to-back defensive possessions, with each leading to a pair of free throw makes. Leroy went 4 of 6 from beyond the arc and added 3 steals to his 22-point effort, and was honored as LEC Co-Player of the Week. Sophomore Dante Rivera added 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals, while junior Gerald Fleming added 9 points and a team-high 6 boards. PSU heads to Keene State tonight for another important league contest before hosting the league-leading UMass Dartmouth Corsairs in a huge game on Saturday.
After dropping a disappointing loss to Pine Manor here at home last Wednesday night, the women's basketball team returned to LEC play as they hosted WestCon this past Saturday. Led by senior Alex Ricard in her first career double-double with her career-high 10 points and 10 rebounds, the Panthers battled hard against the Colonials. PSU came out strong in the first half, shooting 50% from the floor in the first quarter, thanks to freshman Jalen Cook's 3 points on 3 of 4 shooting, finishing the opening 10 minutes tied at 17. Cook and Ricard paced PSU in the second quarter as the Panthers held a narrow 31-29 lead at the break. Unfortunately, the Colonials' perimeter shooting that entered with over 600 three-point attempts got hot in the third as WestConn drained 7 three-pointers and never looked back as the Panthers fell 69-52. PSU shot a strong 40.4% from the floor and controlled the paint, scoring 32 points and pulling down 44 boards, but it was the Colonials' 32 points off the bench that slowed down PSU. The Panthers will return to action tonight on the road, taking on rivals Keene State in LEC play.
Senior Casey Allaire took home a pair of conference titles, and sophomore Madeline Svetten earned all LEC second team honors as the women's swimming and diving team posted its best finish at the LEC championships since the 2006-07 season. Allaire was crowned the LEC champion in both 1 meter and 3 meter diving to claim all LEC first team honors in both events. In addition, she took home LEC Diver of the Week and Diver of the Year honors after yet another outstanding campaign. Svetten was the top PSU finisher in a swimming event, taking second place in the 200-yard backstroke to earn her first all-conference recognition. She also took home third in the 100-yard backstroke. Junior Cami Terrell also had a strong day in the pool with a pair of third-place finishes in the 50-yard freestyle and the 100-yard freestyle. The Panthers finished fourth overall, while PSU had 8 NEI SDA A-cut times and another 4 B-cut times. Plymouth State will take a week off before wrapping up its season at the NEI SDA Championships at the University of Rhode Island from February 13th to 16th.
The indoor track and field programs continued their strong seasons at the Bronwyn Smith King Invitational at Tufts University this past Saturday, as the women's team took home 12th and the men's team coming home in 13th out of 22 teams. On the women's side, sophomores Emily Geisler's Claire Graniter and junior Caitlin Miller continued their assault on the PSU record books. Geisler's reset the 200-meter dash record with a time of 26.68 seconds, capturing third in the event while adding a 7th-place finish in the long jump. Graniter tops her own previous school record to finish 4th in the 400 in 1 minute .93 seconds. Miller demolished the school record in the 5,000-meter, taking 5th in the process with her time of 19:07.24, a time that is nearly 50 full seconds faster than the previous mark, set 2 years ago. Sophomore Paige Boudreau continued to lead the throwing team, finishing 5th in the shot put with a season-best toss of 11.35 meters. For their efforts, Miller was named the LEC Track Rookie of the Week, while Geisler's was named the Track Athlete of the Week in the Little East Conference. For the men's team, senior Noam Byington set a new personal record in the mile, and sophomore Marcus Roper had a strong day throwing to pace PSU. Byington finished 18th in the mile with a time of 4:35.35, while Roper established a season-best throw in the shot put with a distance of 13.97 meters to take 4th in the event. Junior Terrell Lewis dominated the 60-meter hurdles, finishing 2nd in the prelims and took 1st overall in the finals with a time of 8.26 seconds. Freshman Ian Griffiths was the 7th fastest qualifier in the 60-meter dash with a time of 7.38 seconds and went faster in the semifinals, but narrowly missed qualifying for the final race by just 0.03 of a second. PSU comes home this Saturday for the Panther Invitational at the Bank of New Hampshire Fieldhouse on Senior Day, with the event starting at 10 a.m.
The Panther ski teams battled tough course conditions and the usual top EISA competition at the Colby Carnival last weekend. The Panther men finished 6th in both the GS and the slalom, while the women ended up 13th in the GS before moving up to 8th in the slalom. Junior Cooper Yates had a big weekend for PSU, leading the men in both disciplines. In Friday's GS, his combined time of 2:03.50 was good enough for 16th, while he posted the best finish for any PSU skier this season with a 6th place showing in the slalom on Saturday. Junior Andrew Gonzalez took 18th in the GS and 27th in the slalom, with freshman Liam McKim ending up 30th on Friday and 33rd on Saturday. On the women's side, it was freshman Cameron Metzger leading the squad both days. Metzger sat in 25th in the GS on Friday, but was one of 6 Panthers unable to complete both runs on the tough course. She came back with a vengeance on Saturday, though, leading the team with a 13th place finish in 1:52.98. Freshmen Carmelo Olmo, Lily Flackbart, and Zoe Simpson ended up 37th, 46th, and 49th respectively. Plymouth State heads back to Maine this weekend for the Bates Carnival, with the races taking place at Sunday River.
Wrestling returned to action this past week with a tri-duel at Bridgewater State as the Panthers took on Williams College and the host Bears. Against Williams, freshman Noel Rodriguez picked up a 7-2 decision at 133 pounds, while classmate Noah Gifford held his opponent at 197 pounds for the 2-1 decision. Despite picking up another win by senior Colby Ferretti by forfeit at 157 pounds, PSU fell to Williams 34-12. In the matchup with Bridgewater State in the nightcap, freshman Angelo Felino earned a win by fall in the first period at 141 pounds to cut into the early 9-0 deficit. Classmate Trevor O'Mara followed up with a major decision win 14-6 at 149 pounds to put PSU up 10-9. Bridgewater, however, would rattle off 6 straight wins, including 2 forfeits by the Panthers, to take the 41-10 victory. PSU returns to the mat this evening at home for senior night inside Foley Gymnasium as the Panthers host Norwich University at 6 p.m.
That'll do it for this week's edition of Panther Rewind. For my partner Dan Salzer, I'm Chris Kilmer. We hope to see you at all the events this weekend as the winner teams head into the final home stretch.